Next fight of the night, we have got Matt the Steamroller Frevola taking on Frank Camacho. And this is a fight that, once again, I am interested in, but I'm not sure if I'm going to end up pulling the trigger. We've got an interesting matchup between these two guys. Matt Frevola is 8-1. He is definitely the young up-and-comer. He is the plus side here. Frank Camacho is 22-8, another veteran edge and advantage here, and he is 1-3 in his last 4. So he's on a bit of a skid, needs to kind of right the ship if he wants to hang out in the UFC for a bit longer. Frevola's 30 years old, trains out of the Serra-Longo fight team, good gym, high-level grappling. That's basically all they do there. You may remember guys like Chris Weinman coming out of that gym. And what he does is he is a pressure fighter, constantly stalks forward, heavy top control. His best attributes are on the mat. He scrambles extremely well. He takes his opponent's backs, and he's always hunting for submission. He does have some heavy hands, but he's got relatively basic striking. He does have a decent jab, a good counter right hand, and decent power on the feet. He wings these wild hooks, though. He can get a little loose out there sometimes, and I'm not a huge fan of that. He does mix in leg kicks. However, they don't have much pop on them, and his biggest threat is a choke. If he gets on your neck, he can dive on a front choke, a guillotine. If he gets your back, he's going for that rear naked, and you're in some serious trouble if this guy gets on your back. He can backpack you. Camacho on the flip side of this thing, he's also a pressure fighter. He stalks forward. He's got big power. He's got strong hands. He stays in the pocket tight, good head movement. He doubles up on the jab, which is something that I always talk about. I like to see that. He throws flying knees. He has heavy body kicks. He punches in combination, which is something I like to see. And he's kind of more of a volume striker. Even though he's got some pop on his punches, he's one of those guys that throws 60% for the most part and then cracks one off at 90% looking for the finish at some point, and you're never going to know when he's going to mix that in. He got absolutely bodied in his last fight by Beneil Dariush, and that's the thing that's kind of given me pause here. Now, Beneil Dariush is an extremely high-level grappler, wrestling and jiu-jitsu-wise, so that's not saying anything bad about the guy that he got mauled on the mat by Beneil Dariush, but Matt Frevola has a very similar skill set. So he had a 2-fight skid to Drew Dober and Jeff Neal. No questions asked there. Neal is going to be a future title contender. Drew Dober is on a career resurgence and maybe on the title hunt himself. He bounces back against Nick Hein and disposes of him. Big KO in the second round. And then he gets choked out by Beneil Dariush. So Camacho, he's got some upside. He's got some things that I really like to see. And he's just kind of had a rough run of it. He's been fighting a very high-level caliber fighter so far in his UFC run. Matt Frevola is on a 2-fight winning streak. He fought Jalen Turner and Luis Pena. Both of them solid grapplers, dangerous on the mat, but don't pose that much of a threat on the feet. Jalen Turner hurt him on the feet badly, and it was close. And then he had a split with Pena. So that one could have gone either way. Could have definitely gone against him. Before that, he had a majority draw with Lando Venata, and he got hurt. He got hurt badly by Lando Venata. And Venata's got some wild spinning stuff, but he doesn't have as much pop on his punches that we like to think he does. And before that, he got KO'd in his UFC debut by Marco Polo Reyes. Those of you who don't know, who aren't familiar, need to understand that Marco Polo Reyes is garbage. He is 8-7, and he is 1-4 in his last 5. All the dude has is power. And if he doesn't clip you with a big punch, he's going to get mauled and knocked out himself. This guy knocked out Matt Frevola clean. So let's take a look at the betting odds after we have the full breakdown of what these guys are capable of, right? Frank Camacho, it's a pick'em. Slight lean to Matt Frevola. -115, comeback -105 on Frank Camacho. And I am very, very tempted to take Frank Camacho here. He has a 2-inch reach advantage. He's going to have a 1-inch height advantage. And if we look at the striking output, both of these guys get barely outstruck by their opposition. Matt Frevola averages 3.19 significant strikes per minute, and then he gets hit with 3.47 significant strikes per minute. So his opponents are outstriking him. Frank Camacho averages 6.68 significant strikes per minute and gets hit with 7.14. So the fact of the matter is both these guys like to bang. There's a deficiency as far as what they get hit with. Both of them have the opportunity to get cracked here. And Frank Camacho has the bigger power. I don't know that Matt Frevola has the gas tank or the ability to do to Camacho what Beneil Dariush did. But I think I'm going to pass. It's a pick 'em for a reason. And I think that this is a spot where the UFC wants to push the 8-1 kid, the future of the division, that kind of thing. But I feel like Frank Camacho can play spoiler here. What do you guys think? What's everybody feeling on this one? First comment I see here is Elvis liking the under. Tune in on Friday to MMA Total Madness. We will definitely be talking about the under on this one. And yeah, I think that Polo Reyes did get popped. I think he is a USADA victim, but that doesn't change the fact that he had some pop on his punches before he gassed out basically in any of his other fights. Frevola should get it done here. And yeah, MMA math does not work. That's something you need to know. There, just because fighter A beat fighter B does not mean that fighter B beats fighter C. Does not work that way. All right. So not a whole lot of opinion either way on this one. I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a brawl, and there's a chance it could finish either way, by knockout or by submission. That underlook is not a bad option on this one.